Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we start building our 4K science per minute robot Megabase. What we're watching right now, for you new guys that might just have joined in at the start of this episode, we have just launched our first rocket at the end of our entry level to Megabase starter base area. So now we're gonna start transitioning into going full robot. That means that we'll have to hook up our mall to make robots for us, and we'll have to get a few more things up and running. But that should be easy enough since we have most of the things on the bus at the moment. So while I go set that up, I'll talk a bit about the plan. So I'm going to make a robot grid Megabase. That's gonna be completely modular. That means it's easy to expand, it's easy to deconstruct, it's easy to move if you want to do that, and it's all gonna be moved around with robots as long as it's more efficient than moving individual items. A good example of this is copper wire. This one takes 1 copper to make 2 copper cables, so that's more efficient just to move the copper and not take it out and move copper cables by you. So I'll try to do a bit of calculation on that as we go along in the episodes and see if we can't get something very nice set up. So before we start to going into all that and the next many episodes where we make that, let's just get red circuits back to our mall, so we can get it all set up. There is pretty much 3 things we need to get our base started. We need the robot parts, we have everything being made, just need to run in our advanced circuits. Then we will need to get robots crafted. Kinda want to just get the frames in, maybe on a line here at the top or at the bottom. And then we just need that and a few chests being made. So we have all the things we need to start the robot base. So let's just start by getting those things up and running. So if we get red circuits on this line, we've already made room for it, and we can get the robotic frames on the top one. That way we should have everything flowing in very nicely. Luckily, many episodes ago, we did plan out that we will need this input. So hooking these up to our mall is gonna be a breeze in the park. Or walk in the park, I think it's called. Completely messed up that saying. So let's grab this, let's throw it down right here. Let's do the same right down here. And then we have 2 places to get them moved in. So we'll split it off right here and we'll split it off right there. I think that will be just fine. Going that way in, going in here as well, and there we are. Then we just need to drag this on a little belt to there. Probably do the same down here. Just jumping a few lines down, and voila. That adds red circuits to our mall, and that means we can start to at least set up our robot ports up here, and we can start to set up our robots right next to it. Pretty much all of these in a nice straight line down. So we have our building blocks of our future Megabase. So let's see here. Let's just take these for now. We will need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll need 4 more, so we'll do 8. Let's just set up our robot ports first. They are quite easy to do. We just need to move a few things in, and as soon as we get the first blocks up and running, we will start to move all of this into a modular mall or robotic mall instead, so we don't have to move so many things by by these belts, since they can't keep up with what we need. There we are. Let's just handcraft a few of these and grab ourselves a bit of iron. These need steel chests as well, so we'll just have to figure out how to do this. Might just make steel chests and just do it by hand until we get the first thing set up, which actually could be basic production for a lot of these things. But first, let's take it one item at a time. I think that will be very, very good. So what holds up the red ones? Oh, I completely merged this wrong. We pretty much just need to do that, and it's fine. Let's just make sure that we clear out all the greens that's going to go on the wrong side now. Well, that's going to be a problem. Let's just make sure that that gets solved before we continue. So we don't jam up our system, that is. So we do need to get the red on the other side. And that was kind of what I had set up. Just didn't think I'll mess it up that badly. So how do we do this? They're on the same bus. Oh well, we'll just do it. And I'll clear out the greens wherever they're at down the line. To make it look a bit prettier. Let's see, green, 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 green. Yeah, we can just clear it up back here. And then things should run smoothly. We will of course need to do the same down below. Just to get these things up and running. But let's just get this flowing down. That will give us most of what we need for rubber boards. That's gonna be used in bulk. And I mean in bulk. There's gonna be hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of rubber boards in our new base. So here is that. Then we just need the steel in, luckily. That's as simple as a little jump. And there we are, and there we are. So now that's slowly filling up. Might want to do a few more. But while this is starting to craft, let's go down and grab ourselves a few, what's it called? Robot frames to go up here so we can have those on the bus as well. So let's see here. Where is our robotic frames? They should be way, way down here. Let's just hook these up so it looks a bit better. They are... Oh, where did that fall down? Right here. So we'll kind of split this off, going north, hooking into our mall the same way we're getting our batteries in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Time for you to go north as well. Gonna have to drag it quite a bit, but I think that'll be good. You can see our batteries going right here for the accumulators, which is also gonna be a very important part since the plan is we're gonna go fully solar in this build for the one reason that going nuclear in the long run has some UPS problems, and I kind of want to alleviate that so we don't run into any issues in that regard. There we are, that was fixed. Don't need to get it on this one, to be honest. We can just wait a small amount. Or another way to fix it, I just remembered, if we just do one of these, say on, I'll put circuits on the side. We can then just pick this up and drag you down and go in. So that will solve it as well. We could have done the same up here, just didn't think about it. So there we are. Flowing in, we already have the first 6, what's it called? Rubber ports, and our frames are right here. So let's set up the robots. Don't really want a limit on this one, if we can help it, or at least just do a whole row. We'll need a lot. So let's get the next 2, construction robots and normal logistic robots. There we are. We'll also just remove our limit on solar panels and on accumulators, just to build up a lot more. There we are. So 2 chests again. Should we limit it to a row? That's fine. That'll add quite a bit at a time. Just as I want. And then we just need the red in and what's called things from up here. So we can jump this one. That's not needed at all. This is needed. This one is not needed at all. So I think we can pretty much jump this as well. Doing one here and here. Pretty much copying the same setup from over here. Doing that. And please copy this to there. There we are. That should solve our robot crafting. So that is pretty much the start. That is gonna serve us very well in what we want to do. So now to plan out how we want to do the base. Might just want to do it here to the right. It's quite easy to just expand up, down, left and right and center. However we want. So let's show you what I have planned in terms of a setup. Oh, you still need something. You need that one. So let's just grab a few. But look, now we're at least going to build a ton of these. Exactly what I want. And should we just fix our red circuits a bit more before we continue? I think that will be quite important. Since it can't keep up at the moment. We are using way more than we are producing. It's going down the line for a lot of things, mostly for rocket parts, but since that's almost filled up, it should sort itself out very soon. Pretty much going for these, and that we can skip for now. Also use for a bit of science. Well, we'll just let it run and see if we run into any issues. So let's go down here and just expand this little setup. And now as soon as we go to our robot build, oh, let's not disconnect that, that'll be bad. It will not be necessary anymore, but for now it is. So copy you, just paste you down over here. You can do this to make it sure it's hooked up correctly. And one more right where you're at. There you are. Don't mind, we don't have room for the power pole down here. That is exactly what I want. And in theory we could fit in one more, I think, without any issues. Let's see. There we are. So that's on a long little factory for red circuits, since we will need so many of them. So let's go plan out our grid. I have done one before, or planned it out in another map, but I'll still build it for you guys so you can see it. Then I'll just stamp it down on top after you guys understand why I'm doing what I am. But let's just get this filled in first. Might need some... Oh, plastic is going to be an issue, it seems. Need some things. And the same with red belt. It's going to be an issue. Can already see that. Do that, just to be sure. So let's see what you're missing. Pretty much just a lot of belts is what is mostly going to be needed. And let's help you as well. Right here. And then a ton of red belts. And then we need a ton more plastic, since our coal is starting to be an issue. And we can always drag that from down south, and I think that might actually be something we will do. God, look, red circus is already lacking. But ton of robots is good. Red belts right here. As some of you have pointed out a few times, we don't need the belts up here. And it was just me copy-pasting this down that led to this small mistake that we will soon correct. So come to me, little robots, and then we will set things up. They're so slow. So here goes. Let's fix a ton of belts. At least the things I can fix by hand, I might as well. And here we go. Missing a few things to get up and running, but it's actually not that important since, look, we are completely stuck back here anyway. Let's just grab these and get on our merry way. So let's see here. Let's just grab some coal and lead it up here. We can just take it in right here for now. And luckily we have more than enough. We'll do it through this one, so we make sure that we always have the power running. And then we can just lead it in through our setup here. Or maybe right next to this. For now, we'll at least just get it up and running so we don't lack the plastic, because that is a bit annoying. Could also take it all the way up here and lead it correctly into our main bus. But yeah, so we have it running into these, might actually be good. Let's take it all the way north. Shouldn't be an issue. So let's just see here. More belts, please. Too much inventory. So yeah, let's just empty out some of these robots I picked up too many of already before they're needed. And let's grab you and a few more. There we are. So here we go. Let's drag this all the way to the top. Let's spend a ton more resources just doing this. Luckily we can tear it down in just a few episodes, if we are lucky. But don't want to rush anything in terms of tearing down our bus too soon, since I have made that mistake before, and that's actually quite annoying. And let's see. Yeah, let's just go left here. And then we're almost at a place where we can just take it up and merge into this one. And then we have the coal going correctly through all of our systems. And there we are. Please merge you in here. Give you a nice red belt upgrade so we have more than enough flowing in. And since we want to empty, no, we can just take wherever it wants. I don't really care right now. But I want to empty this out at least. And that's also what it's set up to do. And there. So that should feed enough coal in through our base to last us quite a while. At least giving us a full belt of coal going in, as long as this can keep up. Oh yeah, let's just make sure that I didn't mess up in terms of our power production down south now. And I might have done that the way I dragged it through our power. But a good solution for that is just this right here. Because right now it's trying to grab what it really can't grab. So if we just do a little sneaky here. Priority that way. Anything excess can go this way and around. And then we can hook it up. That way this one always have, wow, all the things it needs, and the rest will just kinda be fine. There we are, hopefully it can reach. If not, we always have a few undergrounds that can help us out. So this way, we will only take off what these ain't using. Which is very, very important so we don't stop our power from working. So let's just plan out my robot mall thing. Oh, not mall, robot grid. So if you just do it with the ones we have. What I want is to do it as big as I can with as few robot ports as possible. So let's just do the sides and see how we can do this and make it look good with using most of what we have available. So if we do something like this, as you can see, this is pretty much a grid that can support quite a few things. It makes it modular because we can just stamp it around. But since we're doing a vanilla, what's called a robot base, we'll need a ton of robot ports. So just this one is not going to give us enough. So we'll have to stamp down as many as we can around the sides. And since this one doesn't fit, we can just move it down a small amount. We can then do the same this way. Moving it down to here, I think. Then we'll move this one down as well. To right here. And then it should fit across this way. Oh, here we are. So let's just check if we have a nice grid now that we can work with. So if you look at this, this will make it completely modular. We can pretty much stamp it around like this. Very, very nice. With no issues. Now we need to supply power to it. So let's just go grab a few things that I'm missing. Seems I've used, I can just craft a few poles so we have them. Because I have something I want to do. I both want to get power and light, since most of the time our road base is going to be viewed from the map view. So if you add something like these to the sides and a bit of power, that will be quite good in terms of supplying that. Then we just need to find a good solution for how to hook them up. And I think something like this. One thing you might know or might not know about me, I like to make things symmetrical. So we'll try and do it as symmetrical as possible without having to go too much on a compromise with our design structure. So what if we do 2 here instead? Can we then do 1, 1? Yeah, I should probably go craft some. 1, 2. They'll not line up, so I'll just go take what I have planned. I have this blueprint I made in another map of how I want it to look. If you look here, it lines up perfectly with what we're trying to build. And that way we can actually get things running. So I'm just going to stamp it down, just so you can see what I'm planning to do as a robot grid. The reason why I'm doing 2 rows is, as we talked about before, the need to be charging a ton of robots. And I think it looks quite cool. Then I've put some concrete under all of the robots just to make it look somewhat good, and some hazard concrete around the edges. Then I also have these, so it's 1, 2, 2, 1 instead of 2, 1, 1. couldn't remember how I did it. And then pretty much lined all of this up. Then I have the same on the opposite side. So if I wanted to do this, I can always take this and put it down right next to it, having a very solid robotic grid to work with. So that is pretty much the plan for the structure, or the main structure of our base, doing something like this and then just expanding out, covering the entire world, a bit like replicators from Stargate SG-1, if any of you know that somewhat old series nowadays, but I think most of you probably know it. Do comment if you do. So let's just leave this for now and go grab a few more things here from the base so we can get things up and running. Another thing I've also made off camera is just what's called a solar power grid, because getting the optimal ratio on camera can take quite a while. So I did this one, and I'll just show you it in a minute, where we built our first one, as maybe the first thing we do with our robot factory. Our Megabase is set up a solar power grid, since that's gonna run everything in the future. So let's see here. We'll need these. If we look at how many they need a ton. 120 roboports per grid, almost 2k concrete, 400 hazard concrete, and that's quite a bit. In terms of the ratio for our solar panels, we are a bit off. We are a few solar panels short to the 0.84% or 0.84 ratio to accumulated solar panels. So that is a bit of an issue, but it wouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things if we just play correctly. And I rather want it to look somewhat symmetrical and good, only being the roboport, not the roboport, sorry, the radar being a bit off center. But I couldn't get it to fit anywhere without doing or making it look kind of crappy. So for now, that's at least the one we're using. We might redesign it in the future. You can also give me feedback if there's some other cool way of doing it. But let's just see, we need to craft the rest of this. We do have enough coal going in at least to supply more and more of our base, but most definitely not enough. So that's a few things we'll work on as the last things this episode. And then we can go and try and craft our first grid. I think that could be quite cool. So let's go grab these. Do we have long-handed? We do have a few, but most definitely not enough. Some more belts as well. So that gives us full inventory. So let's go down here. Let's set up plastic first, since that is kinda what we are missing the most. And I might want to double it, just building after this one, to make it easy to set up. Please set you right here. And then we could actually landfill in some of this lake to make room for a bit more. There we are. Oh, and I am missing power poles. So let's just go and grab those right here to get enough in. So now that's working, producing even more plastic. We are at a point where we have too much on one side, unless we upgrade to a new kind of belt. So we can shift this one down. How many can it support? This one produces 2 every second. So it should be able to support 15 altogether. That's 7.5 each side. So let's do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here is the cutoff. Do it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll need to move this one down to here instead. I think that was 8. Isn't that 8? That is 9. I completely miscounted that. So let's just do this instead. That should do this correctly. And then we do another 8 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's actually exactly what I can support. So if we flip this, how much room does that take to do? We can actually start it around here maybe then, just to have a thing, and just move the water down a bit. Let's just steal you from the main bus instead, so we don't have that pipe going through. And since we ain't really using this much, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Other than me running out of so many items right now, because we are building quite a bit. So let's see here on the ground. Let's tear this one up. Let's put in some more plastic, if that is even needed, to be honest. Because I just noticed that, of course, we are doing one full red belt with these. So adding more is actually not going to help anything at all. Because as you can see, we are completely full in terms of getting a red belt. Yeah, it actually looks quite nice. One full red belt. This one shouldn't run all the time. This one shouldn't run all the time. So we could actually just leave everything we just tried to make. Oh, that's me being a bit silly trying to place down one more. So we'll leave this. This works better than intended. And then we could upgrade it to the next tier belt. That could give us a bit more of what we need. But let's just see if this can even consume all of our plastic as it is right now. Seems to be going most of the way down. Pretty much all the way down. So yeah, this might actually be completely fine the way this is working right now. Giving us not a full red build out, but still a few more than we had before. Bit of coal is also going, most definitely not enough, so it is time to start building the robot base. As to building all of them, we could wait a bit with some. Maybe just doing a shell first and saving a lot of the things here in the middle for later. Oh, did not mean to do that. So what if we just do this for a start? What if we say, please deconstruct, not you, but this part here in the middle. Same with the concrete. Taking that away. Can't pick up, robots can. Let's just do this, to be honest. Last thing, take out. Oh, there we are. Oh, there we're not. Where did I hide them? Why can't I find our concrete? Huh. That's strange. Can I then just take some and put in? That's weird. Am I just blind and can't see the concrete? Seems like it's just not here. Oh well, that is completely fine. We'll just leave a bit then for the future. Please remove this part. Remove this part as well. And right here. That we will at least have a bit less to craft until we go insanely big. So we can actually just move this one around and still get what we want. But I'll try and discuss if we want to do this or actually just go with the full robot build right away. That might actually be the solution I go with. But we will find out next episode. This was a bit of a messy episode. It's always messy when you go from what I've been using for a long time over to a new design. So we'll look at that in the next episode. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy this kind of oh, not that kind, I'm just gonna make it look a bit pretty again, that looks horrible. This kind of building, and hopefully we'll get a very beautiful base up and running very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll give me a like and a subscribe, and then I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.